Hello.
Hello. How are you?
I'm well.
Welcome,
Yourself?
welcome home. You're all settled, I hope.
Oh yeah, as much as one can be.
You just had a barbecue, you said?
Yeah. We got some. Every once in a while, the friends in town will get together, and I guess not a true barbecue, really, just grilling some meat, hanging out with some friends, and then socializing. And
Wait, so what makes that not a barbecue?
right? Okay. So my understanding of like a barbecue is actually like smoking something, right? Like having
Oh.
you put out a rack of ribs or like a big thing of meat, and you smoke it for hours,
Oh.
and it's barbecued.
That's like real.
That's
That's like
my
real
understanding.
barbecue.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Right. It is just people
Uh-huh.
getting together grilling.
Uh-huh. Is that like more like a
So I guess
cookout? We don't really use the word cookout in
yeah,
Canada, but you can have like a cookout where you're just grilling
makes
and hanging
sense.
out. Yeah.
That's
Huh.
that's what it was. But I
Uh-huh.
guess the phrase has been adapted
Adopted,
over the
usurped,
years. Adopted,
whatever.
adapted.
Yeah, both of those work, I guess.
Hmm.
Feel like there's gonna be a lot of
Either way,
you're like you're a fan of words, eh? I'm in for a
me
treat
too.
here, I think. Yeah.
It's fun. I like it. We'll see.
Mm-hmm. For you personally, for your tastes, what's the best part of
Mhm.
a cookout? Is it the food? Is it the drinks? Is it like
Uh,
the outdoor conversation?
it's a good question.
Mm-hmm.
I'm really good at drinking, you know, and I like to drink a lot of
Sure.
beverages.
Yeah.
In the past, that would have been like alcohol, but not anymore. But
Uh-huh.
I've kept that the phraseology, or I don't know if that's the right word.
Uh-huh.
Um, it's the people. I mean, food's good, sure, food's good, but that's a passing thing, and
Yeah.
it's always ultimately going to be the people you're with.
Mm-hmm. Totally. And you said this is kind of like a group of friends that get together every so often?
Hmm.
That's
Yeah,
nice.
yeah, we've got a little community here of friends.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I
That I'm
feel
all
like I
part of.
had that here in the city for a while. There was like a bunch of us went to school, a bunch of us from like the place where we all grew up. But enough
Mhm.
time goes by and everyone kind of like goes, people trickle out of the scene, and then
Yes,
yeah, it's kind
yes,
of hard to keep it up. Hard to kind of bring new people into like an IRL circle like that too.
right. It's odd. So like, that was my experience. I was I lived in the same town from when I was born up until I was 27,
Mm-hmm.
and I saw that where it was like, I stayed in the same schools, and I kind of moved with the same group of friends. And
Mm-hmm.
then once everyone got out of high school, like, you saw the dissemination.
Mm-hmm.
So, this friend group maybe moved over here a little bit. This person went to this state, this person went to that state, and slowly things started to just kind of drift.
Mm-hmm.
And I really wondered, I was like, there's a couple times I tried to reconnect with certain friends, and it just didn't happen.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I really started to wonder, where I was just kind of like, is it even possible to maintain or recreate something like I used to have as an adult? Like,
Mm-hmm.
now that I'm an adult and I'm in the workplace and this and that, and I tried to like make friends at my workplace and stuff like that, but none of it really panned out. And none of them really like became friendships in the way that I, grew up with.
Sure.
Um,
Yeah. They're probably
and
just they're
then
probably just too cool for them. They
no,
probably weren't
not
up
at
to
all.
snuff. Yeah.
Not at all. That would be
But I cut you
that's
off.
such
You
an
said
ego.
you were gonna say and then.
Oh no, you're fine. And then I moved out. I moved out to Colorado,
Mm-hmm.
and one of my oldest friends, who I've known since I was like 5,
Uh-huh.
moved out here
Uh-huh. Nice.
first, right out
Lucky.
of high school, and so he had been sort of asking me to come out here for years,
Mm.
and the community that he found himself in,
Mm-hmm.
that I have now become a part of, is like, it's awesome. It's
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it's that thing where to circle back to your point of like, it's difficult to bring new people into the IRL friend group, like,
Mm-hmm.
you know, that's not a difficulty here. And to be candid,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
um, it's also just like my church group essentially as well.
Uh-huh.
So it makes it really easy to have a common point that we're all focused around.
Yes.
But it
Yeah.
it is really an organic thing that, like, I grew up in a religious household,
Mm-hmm.
and we never had a group of friends or a community like this.
Mm-hmm.
And then coming to a different place, and I don't know, it's really just, it's lovely.
Yeah, it's
So
awesome. I mean, it's been one of the main functions of a church community for so long is really just kind of like a backbone of community,
absolutely.
a tie that binds kind of thing. It's really nice like that. What was the thing that brought your friend from where you grew up to Colorado? Do you know?
Yeah, originally he was interested in the school that was here because they had a foreign exchange student program to New Zealand.
Ah.
Now, he never actually went through with that,
Mm-hmm.
but I think really what it was is that was one part of it. And then he came out here and probably just loved the environment, right?
Sure.
Like Florida and the Rocky Mountains are very different.
Pretty different, yeah.
Yeah. And so like I was kind of feeling mine was a slower itch. Took me 10 years longer to get out here than it took him.
Right.
But, all things happen in the right time.
Sure.
As they're supposed to. I've found out. For me.
Awesome. Well, I certainly appreciate your time tonight, just jumping on the call. Kind of short notice, I'm working on a small interview series, kind of like a summer project, something to focus on as I find like people are moving away from Dark and Darker, like kind of like the central thing that kind of tied our little community together. I feel like that's kind of like, that's waning, right? So this is like a nice little focal thing for me. I'm feeling really motivated to work on this stuff rather than kind of dragging my feet to kind of make other game-related content for the time being,
Sure.
Yeah, and there's lots
absolutely.
of really interesting people in the Discord, and everyone already kind of knows each other. So I just thought I'd take it a step further and have a little podcast series. We get to know each other. I mean, we're all gamers, right? Everyone's got a different perspective on games.
Certainly.
Yeah. So thanks again, man. I appreciate you jumping on.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Of course, it's interesting. Yeah, it's certainly an odd thing to be propositioned for. I was like,
Sure.
I was like, huh. Okay. And I had my trepidations was the first word I thought of, but then I actually looked up the definition of trepidations, and that is not correct.
I've probably been using it wrong this whole time. Yeah, that's my bad. That's my bad. Yeah.
No, you're fine. It's just I was like, because I'm pretty hesitant usually to
just jump into a word wholesale that you don't absolutely
speak
know.
a lot.
I see.
Or have myself recorded and then uploaded in a way where it's like, So
sure.
It's just not something. It's not something that I've done before, particularly. But
interesting.
Yeah, I was like,
cool.
You know what? It's fine. It's
cool.
life. It's all good.
What the heck does trepidation mean then?
Oh, that's a good point. A feeling of fear or agitation about something that may happen.
Yeah, fear though. Right? I use it as a kind of another way of saying I'm anxious or afraid.
Yeah, that's where I feel it was like anxiety, like like a little nervous.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Awesome. So here we go. Welcome. I think I'm going to call it the water cooler. How's that sound to you? Welcome to the water cooler. Sounds good. Okay, cool. The first question is this. What is the origin of your handle, your Discord name? Everyone's got a name. Yours seems to be kind of like a fan favorite, right? What's the origin of your name?
Oh, God. All right. So there's a series that came out, I don't know how long ago, called Retarded Animal Babies.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. And in their first episode, they go through the alphabet.
Okay.
And there's a certain point where the donkey in that series says, "Ham salad is for lunch." Now, when I was first going to create like a tag, because this was actually first used as my Xbox Live Gamer tag, I had tried some other stuff, but they were taken.
Okay.
And then that line, I don't know, was in my head for some reason. So I tried it, and the L was taken.
Mm-hmm.
And my older brother at the time had a Xbox Live Gamer tag where he wasn't able to use an L, so he used a 1 instead.
Yes.
And so then I did the same thing. So that's how it became HamSa1ad.
Yes. HamSa1ad. Isn't it so funny? You think you have like a really unique name and you put it in, it's already taken. Mm-hmm. You're like, dang it. Like, how does someone else have that name? This was
right when Xbox Live started. I think maybe it was like 4 months into when Xbox Live had begun.
Right.
So it was one of those things where I was like, yeah. And fortunately, throughout the years, a couple years after that, a lot of people, I guess, watched the show The Wiggles, and they have a song about fruit salad. So most of the people thought it was a step away from that, which made it a little easier. But
is The Wiggles like one of those like really popular like kid YouTube acts?
Yeah.
Right.
I don't know if it's a YouTube act, but it's like it was probably on television back in the day.
Right.
For kids.
Like songs and sing-alongs and yeah. Mm-hmm. The funny thing is if you upload that these days, like it's like a guaranteed like you make $1 billion. You make any sort of mass media for kids on YouTube, and it's just you just print money, I think. You already kind of touched on it, but what part of the world are you currently in?
I am in Colorado right now.
And when were you born, Ham? In the 90s, the 2000s, the 80s? And if you could say the earlier half or the latter half of the decade, you don't need to go into more detail than that.
Oh, you're fine. I was born in 93.
In the earlier half of the 90s. Awesome.
Earlier half of the 90s, if you prefer that.
I'm just trying to I don't know. I've got like a weird etiquette. I gotta stick to it. I got a shtick. I'm sticking to the shtick.
And that's the thing. Like, if you want to include this part too, is like, yeah, I'm happy to abide by the shtick.
No, I've been kind of doing like a running start. And so, and my plan is this, like, I'm gonna, we chat, and then, I edit down, or I edit together the conversation, and I'll send it to you. When I upload it, it'll be unlisted, and so you'll have a chance to see the whole thing before I push it live, and you can tell me if there's anything you're not comfortable with, or like, I think I can use my better judgment here. Like, I'm not going to include everything, right? It's not going to be just like a rip of what we say. But you'll have the right of first refusal or whatever. You'll have a chance to take a look at the whole thing, and you can tell me. Super flexible there. So anything, if you don't want in, you just let me know, and I can do a quick re-edit. No big deal.
Yeah, my girlfriend was interested. She's like, I don't even know what you do on the computer. Like, what? Like, I'm interested to know. And I was like, this is a whole different thing. I was like, I've never really been a part of a community.
Yeah.
Like this. So
yeah. How do you feel about the whole idea of like? I think what we have is something special. When we started this, Clippy and I assumed we were just going to get horrible people in the Discord. Like when I started making videos, and then people like make a Discord, and we were just like, oh no, like, okay, here we go. We like hold our nose and jump in. But what we have is just like this incredible small community of really cool people, right? And so what do you think? What do you think about the idea of just like having a podcast of just kind of like regular folks talking about gaming?
I think it's interesting in the sense that it's not certainly something I would have expected to hear. Like in both ways, it doesn't make sense, and it makes complete sense.
Yeah.
From speaking with you in the past, knowing your background a little bit and the way that you like to, I was going to say orient and teach, but there's a certain. It just makes sense for the kind of person that you seem to be, from what I can tell.
Yeah.
Also, it's fair to say, like, I'm someone who operates mostly on logic. And it doesn't work too much, and I'm working to expand more into my emotions more often, my feelings more often. So yeah, when you ask me a question like, oh, what do you think about that, it goes immediately into like
an analytical breakdown.
I've seen this before, and and so that's where it comes out.
Cool. What do you do for work these days?
I am now farming. I was working in IT for the past couple of years, and then I found that I wasn't happy in that role. I wasn't being fulfilled. It looked like my prospects weren't turning out the way I'd hoped, and I was having some body pain. So I took some time off. I took a month off and was considering going back to school. And then in that time, some friends of mine, actually where my girlfriend works, their farm, the owners of that farm reached out to me. And they're like, hey, do you want to work on the farm? And it sort of kickstarted a conversation again that I had before with my girlfriend about like, hey, what would it be like if we worked together? Because it's a pretty small operation. It's the husband and wife who own it, and now me and my girlfriend.
Yeah.
And so it's been great. We've been doing that for about 3 months now.
I was going to ask, what kind of farm is it?
It's a market garden.
Nice.
So we don't have any livestock. We're only planting
produce
in the ground basically. At this time. Yeah, produce. Right now where we're at, we've got cucumbers and tomatoes in a hoop house, as well as some ginger, and we're trying out turmeric this year as well in there. And then we've got out in the fields, we've got turnips and radishes, beets and carrots, lettuces, salad mix, onions, bok choy, kale, chard, things of that nature.
Turmeric could be a nice one to make. Is it kind of like a ginger? Yeah. Does it need like a sandy, silty soil for the turmeric?
That would be an interesting thing. We're working predominantly with like a heavily clay soil. And so over the years that we'll be working it, it'll get better.
Looser and looser, maybe.
Clay will get broken up. Yeah. But right now, and I don't have much experience in this field. This is something pretty new to me, but it's an interest that I had when I was a kid.
Yeah, so I was going to ask you, like, you're going from IT to farming. Did anything surprise you? Like, now that you've got your hands dirty, so to speak, like any part of the job kind of like surprise you now that you're into it?
Surprise me? No. I'm not surprised by the things.
Too analytical to be surprised.
No, you're good. There's a natural progression to things. Like we're gonna work the fields, then we're gonna plant the crops, then we're gonna maintain the crops, and they're gonna grow, and then we'll harvest. Like there's, I guess what one thing to say would be, it's just nice to be outside, be physically active and moving around and working like that. As much as it's like not fun to be sweating all day, but the reality is like it feels good, and I get to eat what I'm harvesting and take home good food and
Oh yeah, I never thought about like the food you get to take home. I mean, one more question here. Like I'm trying my best to kind of pull on the threads that I'm interested in, but also try to keep this like a little conversation about gaming. I've got a bit of a space to bridge here, but in terms of are you feeling better? If you said that you kind of made the shift from IT to that you wanted to mix it up because you were having some discomfort, some physical discomfort, have you noticed an improvement there now that you have kind of changed the style of your work?
Certainly. I mean, it's most of my life I've been really good at staying up late and having an irregular sleep schedule. So,
it sounds like
having
me.
to, yeah, exactly. It's been really easy to stay up all night or sleep in, whatever. Having to get up at 5 o'clock in the morning to make breakfast, to leave by 6, to drive 45 minutes, to be ready by 7, to then work all day. And, it's put me into a better sleep cycle. And when I'm doing manual labor, like, you got to eat your meals. Like, I used to skip a lot of meals because I would just be at home, things like that. And yeah, I mean, it just feels good. And it's good to be tired at the end of the day.
Sure. It is a good feeling, isn't it? When you're at the feeling of actually being tired and like wanting to go to sleep and like being ready to go to sleep.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Instead of the restless mind that keeps me trying to play a game or watch a video or just dive down some rabbit hole.
Well, you very cleverly just opened the door there for a great segue. You said the word game. I'm going to jump on that. If you have any time to play games these days, I'm sure you do, but like, can you list or describe the top 1 or 2 types of games you love to play?
The game that I've gone back to for years has been Diablo 2.
Interesting.
It doesn't get as much playtime now, but I mean, the last 2 games that I've played are Diablo 2 and Satisfactory. So as I find myself not having as much time to like maybe hop on a multiplayer game with friends, or if I'm not really feeling competitive, which I'm usually not, honestly, then yeah, those are my go-tos.
Such a great game.
Grew up with.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Oh, it's such a great game. It's a classic. It's so good. It feels so good. I remember I played a lot of Necromancer Bone Spear. I just love that. I loved running around and shooting guys through with the bone spear.
Yeah, it's I don't know. It certainly holds a nostalgia point in my heart. And it's just one of those things that I can hop on and hop off pretty easily. And Satisfactory works in that same way.
What kind of game is Diablo 2? If you had to put like a classification or a type to it, what would you say it is?
I mean, it's an isometric RPG. I didn't particularly like Diablo 3. And I think Diablo 3 cranked up the like, I don't know what to call it. It's just
ARPG stuff.
It's an ARPG, but it's based so much on loot. And I know Diablo 2 is as well. But like Diablo 2 is just like, I mean, it's certainly a grind, right? If you really want to get far into that game, you're doing the same things over and over again.
Yeah, you're right.
You're running the same maps, you're running the same places, you're running the mill for better gear, runes to drop so you can craft a rune word, certain uniques, depending on what you want to do. And I've really only like gotten really deep into that once. Some years ago, probably right before I moved out to Colorado. I was really like kind of working on what you would call a holy grail in Diablo 2, which is like collecting one of every single unique and set item, which is difficult.
Yeah.
And just takes a lot of time. And I never completed it because it takes an immense amount of time. But what kind of game is Diablo 2? One that can take up a lot of time if you're not careful.
That's fair. How do you feel about PvP in games? You touched on this as well. I know it's not for everybody, but how do you feel about the player versus player aspect of games?
I in my life have a difficulty with competition. I don't like to compete. It's just not, it's something I am learning to do better with, but it's typically something I avoid. So you'll find me in games playing more support.
Right.
Just because I don't particularly want to.
Do you find it stressful? Do you find it like when you get to that point, or is like you don't want to? Yeah, right.
Yeah. And it's typically, it's not just that PvP in its own is competitive. And when I say competitive, I do actually mean like ranked play. Most PvP games will have some type of ranked leaderboards or ranked mode. And I have my friends that I've known for a while who like to play that. And it just adds an extra layer of stress that I don't really like.
Yeah.
If I'm going to play a game, I'm going to primarily want to have fun. I'm not looking to work extremely hard to like beat somebody else. It doesn't work for me in that way.
Interesting.
So yeah, for me, PvP in that way is I typically look for a way first to prioritize fun, and then secondarily to be helpful, and then third to like beat the other person.
Win. Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah.
It's interesting that you kind of like bucket like PvP and ranked gameplay together. I've never really played a ranked game. Like I've never really gone for like a League of Legends rank or a CS rank, or never tried to climb the leaderboard in Dark and Darker. For me, like ranked has always just been out of the picture. But I can definitely imagine if you kind of like, if you expand your lens to include that aspect as well as just like playing against another person, then yeah, it gets even more stressful, or like it could be even less fun if you're worried about that in the back of your head.
I grew up playing Halo. Like the first Halo came out when I was pretty young, and we would have friends come over and have a LAN party. And when you're kids, like some of your friends are really good and some of your friends aren't quite as good.
Yes.
And so, there was always certain people who I couldn't beat and certain people who I could always beat. And, then when Halo 2 came out, then they had Xbox Live and online play and a ranking system. And a lot of my friends wanted to grind ranks, and there reaches a certain point where you reach your own plateau, or in my experience, I reached my own plateau.
Sure.
And it was a difficulty. And it was at that point that I migrated over more towards custom games and just like working on exploits and glitches and getting outside of maps.
Yeah.
There were certain things in those places that I was able to then develop my like way of like being helpful. Like there was things I had to do to help other people get out of the map and this and that, and teach people how to do super bounces and all these other things.
Yeah.
So I think that's like the root for me of where like PvP became distasteful a bit.
Sure.
Where it was like I recognized that I was no longer having fun and I was just getting upset. And so for me, as I've gotten older, it's just been like, well, I'm playing games to have fun, right? Like why would I put myself in a place where I'm going to be upset? And it's so for me, like high roller to me is Dark and Darker's ranked mode. It's where I'm going to run into like the people who are trying the hardest and have the least leniency to have fun.
Yes.
So I avoid it.
Yeah, if there's one thing I can say that I did notice from our time together playing Dark and Darker, is you have a really great ability to disengage if you weren't having fun. And it kind of revealed itself to me as like a pretty cool, like sneaky skill to have. Like it's like a pretty cool superpower where it's like, you know what, this isn't cool. I'm not having fun. Let's not do that again, or let's not do this anymore. Yeah. It's like, wow, dang, yeah, cool. Not a lot of people give themselves the permission to do that, I feel.
You're reminding me of when I was growing up. We had a Super Nintendo in the house, and I was probably trying to play Battletoads or something.
It's a hard game.
And yeah, exactly. I was getting stuck, and I remember my dad popped in, and he was just like, if you're so mad, why do you keep playing? And I was like, whatever I said, and I kept playing. But that memory is stuck in my head, and it's true. It's like, why am I keep subjecting myself to this?
Yeah, you are like the only ingredient in the equation, right? Like, and if you're sick of the outcome, just remove the ingredient, and the feeling goes away. Yeah, pretty cool. Yep. Cool.
Yeah.
We're turning our focus back to this year, the past, 12 months or ish. Is there like a particular moment, something memorable that sticks out from your gaming experiences over the past year?
It's the full release of Satisfactory. It was a game I never thought I would have liked. I hadn't heard about it, and then I watched a video on YouTube. What is this guy's name? A guy named Camwing. He came up with this video that says how Satisfactory hacks your brain. And he linked in this video about like he opens it with defining what's the difference between a chore and a hobby.
It's a good question.
And he uses a reference of like dishes in the sink. Like I created the dishes and I'm the one who has to clean them up. And the way that this game very slowly immerses you into this world and teaches you the building blocks of how to get started and how to set up extracting resources and doing all these things. And then you come to realize like, oh, I've made a mess and I need to clean it up. It sounds silly when I say it like that. I don't have the grace that this guy has in explaining it. But I watched this video and I found myself, purchasing and downloading the game, and it was really quite charming. Awesome. And for the kind of person I am, where I was like, oh, I have my own little world, and I get to like, I have a little goal. I have a goal to achieve and work towards, and I get to figure out how many resources are extracted per minute, and then how do I split it up into different smelters to constructors to assemblers to reach this one goal. And then you have to explore the map and find all these different resources and it scratched a certain itch in my brain that
it's like logical brain candy, right?
Totally. Yeah. Over the past year, where I was like sort of waning off of Dark and Darker, and looking for something else to fill my time, and I didn't really want to hop back into something like Diablo. It's been great, and I took a little break. Like it's probably been like it had been like 4 or 5 months since I picked it up again, and I just yesterday or the day before they came out with their 1.1 release, so I started playing it again.
Oh dang!
And it's nice.
Awesome.
Right? Like I said, like we've talked about before, you and I, is like, my schedule's been shifted a little bit recently, and I haven't had quite as much time as I'm used to to just play as many games as I want, to spend a bunch of hours like messing around.
Yeah.
If I've had to focus down, it's just like, all right, let me hop in, and got an hour and a half. Let's
do something. It. Yeah, cool. I mean, I've never played the game. Can you just describe the basic loop for me, like in some accessible way?
Sure. You are dropped onto a planet, and you are tasked to mine and exploit the resources to build a unknown space project, essentially.
Interesting.
And so you're in it's a first-person 3-dimensional world, and you go and scan for resources and craft the means to ever increasingly difficult and more complex parts. And it ends up going from you doing things by hand to automating to eventually building like extremely massive factories. Wow. And I'm sort of at this bridge right now where it's like everything's been like pretty manageable and pretty easy, and now things have to like scale. If you take a look at the community page on Satisfactory on Steam, there's like some people make some really beautiful stuff.
Cool.
And dump a lot of hours into it. But it's one of those games where like there's no wrong way to do it.
Yeah, it just kind of turns into a big sandbox.
The game, and it becomes like a spaghetti fest of conveyor belts and all these other things all over the place. Unless you take the time to make it look nice, which is part of the satisfaction of playing.
Cool. Well, that's a great description.
Hopefully that's a great description. Yeah. It's kind of long-winded, but it's also like when I try to explain this to my friends, it's so difficult. Like my girlfriend walked in, and I was building a set of hypertubes to transport me from my main base over to where I was building nuclear power. And she was just like, "What are you working on, like a spaceship kitchen?" And I like tried to explain it to her. And now every time this comes up in our friend group, she just tells people I'm making like a kitchen for my spaceship, which is not
that's not
true at all.
That's not it.
But it doesn't matter.
Cool.
Yeah, it's the things we do to choose to have fun. And it's been Dark and Darker in the past.
Yeah.
It's been other games before that, and it'll shift. There will be something new that comes up. Maybe some Valheim. Who knows?
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, moving on. I've got a bit of a lightning round for you. So I've got a series of questions, and don't feel obligated to go any deeper than you want to in response. I'm not looking for like, you don't need to be. It doesn't need to be one-word answers, but just don't feel any pressure to elaborate beyond what you feel comfortable.
You sure?
Okay, he's ready. First question: what is your favorite thing to drink?
Uh-oh. This lightning round isn't going very lightning. Wow, I had a lot of things run through my head. It's tough, and I'm glad you can edit some of this out. This is great. No, the reality is like I like to drink a lot of bubbly drinks.
Right, you said off the top that you love to drink things, right? So absolutely. And I smiled in the back of my head. I was like, "Oh, I have a question for you, friend."
Yeah, absolutely.
So no wonder you're stumped by it a little bit, right?
No, absolutely. I mean, I love drinking like Spindrifts, which is just like sparkling water with fruit juice. I love water. Water's fantastic. Recently, I've been getting more into tea, just like having hot tea a lot more often.
Sure.
It's just nice. It's just nice.
It's a whole world of teas too, right?
Absolutely. And that's kind of what I'm learning as well. It's my favorite thing. My favorite thing to drink is water.
Yeah. Yeah. And if I had gun to your head, still or sparkling water, if you had to like absolutely decide.
Oh, if I had only one thing for the rest of my life?
Something like that. I didn't want to be so dramatic, but I did say gun to your head, yeah, in fairness.
again, I'm going to go the practical route. Still water just makes the most sense. But I guess technically sparkling water can become still if you let it sit long enough.
Moving on. Good answers. Moving on.
So who's to say?
Moving on. What was the first PC that you or your family had? Can you remember?
Yeah, my dad had a machine in the game room.
Yes.
Is what it ended up becoming.
Yes.
That ran DOS.
Yes. A DOS box.
We used to play games off of that.
You had to browse to the directory.
Sargon,
yeah, you had to launch the executives. Jill of the Jungle. Yes. Oh my goodness.
There's a few in there that are rattling around. Electro Man.
Sure.
Some other stuff.
Yeah.
There's a fighting game.
One Must Fall. Games. That's yes, One Must Fall. I played that game. Now, but you're not that old though, friend. How do you remember these things? That's wild.
I played them when I was a little kid.
Yeah.
And I had to type. My dad had made shortcuts for them also. It was as simple as we turned it on. You typed in a very short word and it booted it.
Wow.
I mean, he had Windows 3.0 on there, I remember. Stuff like that. So
wicked.
So that was our first machine.
Yeah, wicked. Were you a Nintendo kid or a Sega kid? Or if that's a bit too early, were you a PlayStation kid or an Xbox kid?
Both. We started with the first console that we had in the house was a Super Nintendo, followed shortly by a Sega Genesis that we got at the garage sale. Beyond that, then my brother got an N64 and I got a PlayStation.
Wicked.
And then we both got Xboxes.
Wicked. You got entertainment for days.
I mean, this happened over years.
Sure.
But
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You summarize it in one neat sentence, and it sounds like a deluge of fun. But yeah, no, it's trickled out. Okay.
Absolutely.
What's the one candy or snack that you have to buy from the corner store when you go in there?
Now and laters.
What is now and laters? What is that?
Do you know what Starbursts are?
Yes.
It's effectively like a.
It's like a knockoff Starburst.
No, they're their own thing. I wouldn't call them a knockoff.
Okay,
They've got better flavors in my opinion.
Cool.
They're usually a little chewier. They're a little bigger.
Okay. Now and laters.
I just like them.
Is that the name? It must be a brand name, or is that the name of like the candy?
Yes.
Right. Because like you say it's a Starburst, and that's kind of a brand name, but we're also kind of describing like a kind of candy, right? If you ask me what the actual technical term for the kind of candy that a Starburst is, I wouldn't know what to say. Really, it's kind of like
it's
a chew,
fruit-flavored, taffy-like candy.
That's actually pretty good. But yeah,
according to Wikipedia.
Oh, I see. You're cheating. I see.
That's not cheating.
I'm here.
We had no rules.
Yeah, it's true. Okay. Can you cook? And if so, do you have a specialty dish?
Yes. I do. I do cook. I like to cook. Enjoy cooking. If you were to ask my friends what my specialty dish is, they would say kale salad.
Ooh.
Yeah. It's something that I learned at a restaurant that I worked at. And it's good.
I'm gonna pull on these threads because I do love a good salad. How do you cut the kale, and what dressing do you recommend?
You strip it. So you take curly kale and you take it between your thumb and your index finger, and you run the rib against that, and you can strip all the leaves off at once.
Yep, nice.
And then the dressing is, I don't think the NDA that they made me sign applies anymore.
Okay.
But,
at the restaurant? Serious business.
Yeah, it was silly.
Are you kidding? You're not kidding. You signed an NDA at the restaurant.
Joking.
Oh my goodness.
I'm not joking.
Okay.
They were a little paranoid about something. Anyways, I don't need to go into details about that. It doesn't matter. They're wonderful people.
Cool. Great.
It's olive oil, lemon juice, and Bragg's liquid aminos, which if you're not familiar with Bragg's liquid aminos, you could think of it as like a soy sauce alternative. A little bit of onion powder, a little bit of garlic powder, and a good amount of nutritional yeast. It's a recipe that I can't give to someone in measurements. It's something that I need to like show you how to put together.
Awesome. And then
I do have a video of it because so many people have asked me,
right.
My friends.
I mean, it sounds like a crowd pleaser. And then if you could just divulge a little more, because I am interested. Any other accoutrement or like fixins you put in the kale salad?
Nope. That's it.
What? It's just the stripped kale and like the vinaigrette, like seasoning.
So it's enough oil to essentially lubricate the movement. Then you have a balance between saltiness from the liquid aminos and acidity and tart from the lemon juice. And then the onion powder and garlic powder could be omitted, but they're just part of the recipe.
Sure.
Do you know what nutritional yeast is?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, my wife puts it on her popcorn all the time.
Totally. So a lot of people use it as like a cheesy-esque sort of alternative.
Yes.
And so what you end up getting is this balance of saltiness and acidity and sort of like a nuttiness or cheesiness that kind of comes from the nutritional yeast.
Yeah.
And the acidity in the lemon juice helps to kind of break down the kale a little bit. So it's not like you're just you are eating raw kale, but it's not like
it's almost like a ceviche, right? It's broken down a little bit.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it removes some of the bitterness.
Yeah. Wow. Incredibly brave, almost kind of like high-end Japanese. To just serve the one thing like dressed beautifully. You know what I mean? Like I feel like it's a great way to come at the preparation of a food, I think.
Absolutely. I mean, it's definitely used as a side dish amongst other things. But that's the way I put it together.
Yeah, awesome. What's the longest gaming session you've ever had? Like butt in chair, like consecutive gaming session.
The first one that comes to mind probably isn't the longest. First one that comes to mind is when some friends and I were trying to do I think it was either Rock Band 1. There's like a playlist. There's a challenge that has you play all of the songs, right?
Yikes.
So that feels like it, but
what a challenge. Oh man.
It might have been maybe it could have been anything. Blinn, seriously, there have been enough games that I have stayed up all night playing. To the point where it's immediately I'm thinking about this game with that friend or this game with that friend, but it could have been a number of things. Like the couple times I tried WoW and didn't get very far. You stay up all night playing that. Or if something's just really interesting, I've gotten into games I think maybe the first time I played Subnautica. You start on a Saturday morning and you play all through the night into the next morning. And by butt and chair, I mean, I'm going to get up to
use the washroom, really whatever. Quick,
I'm not leaving the house.
Yeah. You're still playing the game.
Yeah, there's been enough time in my early 20s that I wasn't doing anything else but at home playing a game all day. All day.
I hear you.
Probably close to 24 hours.
You're not alone. A lot of people have recounted the same thing. Okay, and last question for the quote lightning round is: how many hours on average do you sleep at night?
I aim for 8. It's getting better now. It's probably 7.
Yeah. And you feel like that's enough? You feel like that's a good that's how much you need to feel rested kind of thing?
8 would be better. When I get 8, it's better.
Yeah, I feel that too. I feel like, man, when I'm awake, I want to be awake forever, and when I'm asleep, I want to be asleep forever. And I've always struggled in the transition between those things.
You got the bedtime revenge procrastination?
What does that mean? Bedtime revenge procrastination?
It's something I'd heard where it's essentially you feel that and maybe you don't. Maybe you do what you love. You feel that your time has been taken up in the day, and so as a sort of revenge for that, I think maybe that we're out of your control, you stay up really late doing whatever it may be that is what you want to do.
Yes.
And it instead is procrastination for your bedtime.
Yes.
And so you either end up with less sleep or you oversleep.
Yes. Yeah. Back when I worked outside of my house, I definitely experienced that every night. every time I had to leave the house for work that wasn't. Yeah. So yes. Cool. But as you know, now that I work for myself, I get to, rightly or wrongly, make my own schedule. But that kind of that has been its own kind of can of worms. Cool.
Certainly, you get to pick and choose and curate.
But at that same time, then I'm completely untethered, and so I'm not sure how. Yeah, do you believe in circadian rhythm? Do you believe that there's a time where you should be awake, a time you should be asleep, kind of thing?
Oh, sorry. I think naturally we're made to wake up with the sun and go to bed with the sun.
Yeah.
Now, if you look at that, it doesn't really make sense sometimes of the year for someone to fall asleep with the sun and wake up when the sun rises. So I've heard it proposed that let me double check my words here. Yeah. Anyways, my point is what I'm trying to say is my understanding is I've heard it proposed that originally humans didn't maybe just sleep all through the night. We didn't just have one set period of rest.
Biphasic sleep.
We would maybe, thank you. We would go to sleep when the sun set, wake up sometime between midnight and 3 a.m, maybe have a little snack, do something, and then go back to sleep for a little bit. And sort of this breakup in between. But we can see that people have circadian rhythms.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe we can see that people adapt when they become sleepy and things like that. And that's something I'm experiencing now. Like it feels weird to be tired at 9:30, but it's happening.
Interesting. Funny
what
enough,
do you believe?
Well, I'm not sure. Like, I can feel my own. I think I just might be a weird bird in terms of like, how long it takes me to get tired, and I'm sure staring at screens all day and all night, it doesn't. I don't have a clean look at it. I can tell you this: whenever my wife and I go camping, as soon as we're out of the kind of like urban lifestyle that we're so accustomed to, we are tired when it's dark and we are awake when it's light. And I feel like when we come back to our lives, like here in the city, like it all just kind of gets all muddled again because there's just screens in every direction. Screens are a big issue when it comes to natural sleep. But I have read about biphasic sleeping and sleeping in the medieval period, and I find that very, very interesting.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think screens are very disruptive. They're very enticing, albeit disruptive.
Cool. Well, you've been so generous with your time. I got 2 last questions, and there's no rush here. We're out of the lightning round, so feel free to say your piece. Here we go. There are lots of games in early access right now. It seems like early access is kind of par for the course for game development these days. What are your thoughts on early access games? Do you have an opinion?
I think it's a really interesting evolution as far as access to games goes.
Yeah. Yes.
I mean, it certainly allows a smaller or an independent developer to get some funds to scale up their work, get through to the finish line. I haven't designed a game to completion myself yet.
But you can see the utilitarian benefit to it.
I can absolutely see the benefit to it. And like a game like Satisfactory was in early access when I purchased it, and then got its 1.0 release, and there's a success story, right?
Yes.
And I understand that there are a lot of examples that people will probably point to that maybe they don't feel like it's gone the right way, where it's like someone releases something that's half baked.
Yes.
Maybe they don't follow through with development. Maybe life happens. Things happen.
Yeah.
I don't like to apply malice.
Yeah.
But some people really, really don't appreciate it, and it's a double-edged sword, right?
Yeah.
Back in the day, a game would release, and there could be game-breaking bugs in it and issues with it, and maybe there was a push for it to be actually. Halo 2 is a great example. Halo 2 had a deadline that it had to be pushed to, and it wasn't able to implement and iterate on everything that it wanted to. And if something like early access had existed for that, then who knows? Maybe it could have released by that date and then been slowly changed over time and improved over time. I think it's a really great tool that exists, and I appreciate it when the developer, if they are going to market it, don't market it at full price when it's early access.
Yeah, I hear that. I think it's really, your classification here is very interesting, and I haven't heard it put that succinctly and clearly before, that early access is a system or is a tool that is essentially inherently neutral, right? Like all tools are kind of neutral, and they can be used well and properly for an intended purpose, or they can be used, in some other way, in a positive way or a negative way, depending on how they're applied, right? And it's neat to think of early access as a system in that way.
It certainly is, and it's really unique. Like, again, you're old enough to know, I'm old enough to know. It wasn't like this. I couldn't just get games on the internet.
Yes,
like
correct.
The marketplace, the landscape, the access and the availability, what we have access to, for lack of a better word, is really quite unique. And to be able to, both on the consumer and on the creator side, like if you wanted to spin up a project with you and some of your friends, you could get, a minimum viable product, get it working, and then submit it for early access if you really wanted to.
Yeah.
Charge people $3, and you could say, hey, here's our plan, here's our benchmarks, and you could get it going, instead of like you guys having to leg it out for a year and a half and pay yourself and all these other things. Like it's I would believe that it's created new opportunities for people to get their designs to market. And really, I think what we're seeing is, for some games, we're in a different environment. People are more used to, maybe not all games certainly are live services, but there's a difference now where, like, maybe before you would have a full vision and you would complete a project and you would ship it and it would be done, and maybe you'd do some very minor bug fixes and stuff like that. But nowadays, people kind of are expecting something that evolves slowly over time. And so when I'm thinking about like a sprinting model, is like, yeah, you sprint to complete this goal, and then you get feedback, and then you sprint to complete the next goal, and you get feedback, and you're slowly modeling and remodeling and building and constructing and changing and adapting to your community, to your base, the people who have your product, depending entirely on the game that you're trying to build.
Yeah.
And like, some games will be just a single story and it'll be in early access, and they just need it to be in early access so they can complete the next couple levels and then do some bug fixing and then be done. But it seems like a lot of games that stall in early access are sort of these, it almost feels like a live service game. They really aren't, but they're close in this way that like they have a good minimum viable product that people can play in, and then they keep polishing their story, and as they polish the story, they bring new updates of different items or different avenues of character expression or different avenues of progression or all these different things. And so it allows for the tree to not be so pruned, or the plant to not be so pruned before it's shipped. It allows you to really keep expanding out because it's truly never finished.
Yeah, cool.
Until you call it.
I don't. I feel like I could talk for another long time, but I'm conscious of your time. I'm conscious of your time. Last question I have for you is there any specific kind of game that you hope comes out in the next year or two? Like, if you could sketch out like kind of a dream game that you would love to play, what would that be?
Here, give me a moment here.
Of course. Well, I cheat and look it up when I ask ChatGPT, what would be an ideal game for me to play?
I don't. I've tried to utilize ChatGPT sometimes to be like,
it's weird.
There's this game that I like playing, and so I ask him like, what's like another game that has like these aspects? And then it just points me back to the same game that I'm already playing.
Yes, thank you.
That's a difficult question because I've been in a bit of a state where I've been kind of floating around between games, between things, and it's how I've ended up in something like Satisfactory. It's how I ended up in Dark and Darker. Before that, it was a game like Hunt Showdown. I've got a big background in FPS. That's pretty much what it's what I spent a lot of time in growing up, and I've got some ARPG with Diablo, and it's been a strange time trying to find a game to play. And I've recognized, I know I'm not answering your question directly. I know I've recognized within myself that like, as much as I enjoy playing these single player games, like the most fun comes from playing with other people. And that's part of the reason that I am a part of this community and enjoy coming to the community events, because even if it may not be exactly my cup of tea of what I'm doing, like it's with people, and people are under the objective of having fun. And so if I were looking for a game for me, I like games where I can be, I like first person games where I can play a supportive role. I like playing Mercy in Overwatch. I like playing as a heal druid in Dark and Darker.
Sure.
There's not very many games where I can actually play like that. I don't play League of Legends. I don't play those kinds of games.
Is there any specific kind of game you hope comes out in the next 2 years, is the question.
The tricky part with your question is that it engages my nostalgia. And I've come to terms with the fact that I can't recapture the moments that existed in the past and the things that I really enjoyed. And so within that, I recognize that I have to move on and move forward, and to see what comes.
Yeah, it's kind of the challenge of like, I forget the expression, I'm going to butcher it, but there's a role for kind of like creative leadership, right? There's a role for kind of innovation. The quote is like, if Henry Ford had asked the consumers at the time what they wanted, they would have said a faster horse.
Yeah.
And so you don't know what you don't know, and you don't. It's so asking us gamers to kind of like describe the kind of game that you hope comes out. Like, all we can kind of do is pull on our experience on nostalgia, like our desire for replication of something that we've, some fun we've had before. But maybe we're not the best people to ask in terms of like, for generating some sort of novel experience.
Absolutely, because my experience has been that it's like, I wouldn't have expected to like that game or this game.
Yeah.
It comes across that way. Or if you try to recreate magic, you end up with, for me, like the ongoing Halo series. Like the last 3 titles have been not great and don't recapture the magic. Or like look at something like Call of Duty. It just gets, people subjectively find that it gets worse every year. So I mean, what am I looking for? For me, I think the best thing for me is a fun sandbox that is able to accommodate a lot of people. I'm a fan of games like Battlefield. Like I really like 64 for 64, like huge battles,
big servers.
Where I can kind of just do whatever I want and it doesn't matter and just have fun. And so I'm usually looking for a game like that. I'm looking for a game that I can hop in, have fun. My impact can be beneficial to my team, but isn't weighted too much in the grand scheme of things, so that it allows the most autonomy.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, I can say, Ham, your particular focus on fun and on community support is very welcome and is a breath of fresh air. And I personally I'm really thankful that you're around this little pocket of the internet. I think you make this space a fun place to be. So thanks for your time, man.
Shucks.
Yeah.
Well, thank you. I mean, the reason I'm here first was the way you expressed yourself in your videos seemed very in your initial Dark and Darker stuff, right? We were all on the upswing. I was learning to play fighter. I was like, oh wait, you can actually do this with a shield. So
you can use it regularly to block attacks.
Exactly, right? All these other things. But there was just a sincerity, maybe is the better word, that came across, and I was like, oh, okay, this guy seems like he's probably a genuinely good person. Like you don't seem to be like whatever people find judgments for. For people on the internet.
Hooray!
And then started coming to a live stream and. I was like, okay, like watching you, like freewheel it a little bit. I was like, all right. And then, but really, you guys have a dynamic duo going. Like you can't do what you're doing without Clippy.
Not at all.
That's the reality. And then, so like Clippy's a little reserved, which is fair, but getting to know them as well has been really nice. So it's the two of you together that, for me, serve as the foundation, obviously. And then, as the Discord community started and grew, watching some of the mainstays, I'll call them, the people who are pretty active and contributing, and you've probably noticed, like I don't comment too much. I don't usually get into the discourse too much, into Discord perhaps, but it's interesting to behold what has come to fruition in a year now. Yeah,
basically.
Just about. And it's good, and I think you guys are, I don't know, you keep it simple. You guys have your own goals and the way you want to continue moving things forward and keeping it simple. And it's I guess it's really just that it's a simple sincerity, and it's what I like. And I think you've got a lot of good people in here who are just want to have fun. And so that's why I'm happy to be here, and I could participate more for sure. But we have to work within our limits.
No, you're good.
Our life and our time. And oh no, and I know you're not asking me to. I'm just speaking in general. Where it's like, if everyone participated, 10% more, it could be even more fun. Not that it's not. So it's just it's an interesting insight.
So. Well, I'll certainly pass on your comments to Clippy. Clippy's going to be thrilled to rediscover that they are in fact the star of the show.
If they don't know that I've never been a mod for a chat, but like the constant work Clippy does to notice and attend to everybody.
Yes. It's phenomenal. Is it not?
Absurd.
Yeah. It's awesome.
Commendable would be a better word.
You can't see it now, but all of the graphics on screen, like the bulk of the design for this whole podcast series is again thanks to Clippy by and large. So claps for Clippy, Ham. Claps for Clippy. I think it's a good note to end it on.
Of course.
You've been so generous with your time, Ham. Thank you so much for hopping on, for sharing your thoughts. And thanks for being part of the community. We appreciate you greatly.
It's happy to be here.
Awesome. Okay, have a good rest. Have a good night. Good luck on the farm going forward.
You too.
Okay.
Try to get some sleep.
Thanks, man. I will.
Bye-bye.